Be talking about today is how to get your goals in a way that you can be fully responsible for them. If you have any questions, Vanessa just put it in the chat. Please put it in the chat and we'll get to them right away. Maybe even throughout the course of the seminar. So the seminars are a really important part of the program. So for most of you who know the program, it's Q3 means on ice, off ice, and mental performance training. And now mental performance is baked into everything that we do on and off the ice. But the seminars are designed to help you frame and reframe and contextualize, check in on what it is that you're doing and making sure that you're getting what you want out of the program. So as we add the seminars, there'll be 2 more, I believe. There's 2 more scheduled. We'll send out those dates and each one will have a different topic. So tonight is about getting your goals and who do you have to become to get your goals. Now we do send out a goal sheet that we've asked you to send back in to us. We've only got a few, so I'm assuming that that they're still coming, and maybe after this tonight's seminar you'll be able to even be more specific on what it is that you want to get out of this program, but also what do you want to get out of sport. And hockey, ringette, ice sports is an amazing vehicle for you to get what you want in your life. We always say that it's the vehicle, it's not the end game, because sport in itself is basically, it's a microcosm of life. There's politics in there, there's business, there's learning to communicate, there's teamwork, there's leadership. So that's what we try to do in Quantum Speed, is that we build all of those aspects of leadership into the program. So not only are you going to become a better skater, as basically everyone on this panel has become a better skater over the course of the year, you're also going to understand yourself more so that you can get to your goals faster. And sometimes what's the biggest thing that is in the way, and I learned this early in, it was with the Edmonton Oilers back in the day when they were winning. That's a really bad joke, but it was hard because they were the fastest team in the league. And it was interesting that my job was to help them link their on-ice training to their off-ice training. And where I found the biggest gap was in their mental training. We had a team sports psychologist, but a lot of the players didn't understand what sports psychology was back then. So I started training as a mental performance coach, linking movement and on ice and off ice, and then helping the players determine what was in their way. And usually it was historical, maybe some memories about being cut, or lack of self-esteem, self-awareness, etc., that kind of thing. It could be a relationship issue, something going on in their lives, but it was, in order for me to help them get past whatever barrier it was, I had to actually get to know them so that they then could get to know me. Trust is then built, and then basically we're able to use the vehicle of skating to help them get faster, but also to become better people. And you know what? You guys, I believe athletes, hockey players, ringette players are smart. And that's the other reason we do these seminars, is that we want to speak to you as professional athletes. Now, professional athletes also do this type of work. We've done a book club in the past. We could send you some links if you weren't a part of that. We studied a book called The Champion's Mind by Jem Afremow, and it was very insightful. So those types of things, the earlier you in your skating and hockey and ringette career, the sooner you start understanding the power of thought, of goal setting, of goal getting, of understanding who you are, what's in your way, what you need, and who you need to become to get your goals. The sooner that you get to that, the way faster, and it's way more fun. And Vanessa and I have a tagline: if it's not fun, we're not doing it. So I want this to be fun tonight. Grab a pen and paper. I'm going to share my screen, and I'm not the techiest person on the team, so if something goes south, we're just going to roll with it, okay? So the first thing I'm going to do is we're going to talk about basically what we're going through when you change a context. Now, content without a context is just more information. And they always say in the world of sport is that you have to think outside the box. So they say that in life too, but in my world, my line is what box. So I want for this particular program to blow up your world in terms of what it means to become a world-class athlete and a world-class person. And doesn't mean you're going to be the best in the world at something, but you certainly will be the best you that you can be. So that's what I say, what box. Okay, any questions or anything yet? No? Okay. So the next thing we're going to talk about is your goal. Now, a goal is something that you set that creates guidepost for you to get what you want in your life. The goals sometimes aren't the end game, but who you have to become to achieve your goal is so crucial. If you want to be an NHL hockey player, you want to be on the national ringette team, who do you have to be? Do you have to be in a different kind of shape? Do you have to have a different relationship with nutrition, for example? Do you need to move cities in case of Melanie and Marius? They actually moved to Edmonton, if you can believe it. So what we want to do is help you identify your goal. And in order to do that, there's certain mental qualities that have to show up in order for you to get your goals. Now we have a handout that goes along with this. And Vanessa's going to put some of the verbiage up into the chat, but we also are going to send you the attachment when we send out this video. Okay. And you can work through this on your own with a pen and paper and your journal, or you can just follow along mentally. You will get the video. So I do want you to pay attention if you can. All right. So mental qualities in order to get your goals. Now, why do we talk about mental qualities? We don't talk about them separate from physical or emotional qualities. There's 4 aspects that we talk about: your mental, your intellectual, your emotional self, and your physical self. Okay, so we call it your pies: physical, intellectual, emotional, and social. Some people call it spiritual, social, support, whatever the S means for you. But we have to identify them in all areas of life. Now, when we have Q3, we have on ice, off ice, and mental training, but we also have the awareness of what we have that's missing in our goals. So the first thing we want to do is figure out what it is that you want. Do you have an awareness of what you're good at? Do you have an awareness that maybe your skating isn't the best right now, especially if you've been getting some feedback from your coaches or from evaluators, etc., that's saying you need to work on your skating? Now, to me, that's kind of a cop-out when people say that, because what part of my skating do I need to work on? So when a coach or an evaluator says you just need to go work on your foot speed, well, off ice, on ice, quickness, agility, what about my foot speed? So that's why when you think about baking in the SPSA program that Daniel's going to be leading and the on ice, having a moment to take a breath, step back, and now you're in an environment where everybody is committed to you skating faster, it takes a lot of pressure off. So I don't want you guys missing, especially on your first ice time, if you're doing this for the first time. And if you've been with us before, you'll realize that you don't want to miss a minute. So if you're going into the first ice time or the first off ice session, for example, tomorrow or even tonight, and you have a little bit of hesitancy, take a look at what that hesitancy is. It's usually because somewhere down the line, someone has criticized you or told you that you're not good at something. So we get quite, as human beings, we get quite a defensive. But when you get a little bit defensive, sometimes we put blinders up and we don't fully listen. So I want you to be aware of that as well. So when you're putting yourself in the quantum speed environment, I want you to have the awareness that everybody is there and committed to you skating faster. Is it going to be easy? No. But if it was, more people would do it. You can ask Andrew anytime, like, he's not afraid to tell the truth about how hard he had to work. He's not the same skater that he was 4 or 5 years ago when we first met him. So same with Melanie. Melanie, your skating has gotten so good. Marius, even you know, as a old guy, I mean, your skating has like crazy good. So it is also about skating to your personality, skating with your to your positional play, understanding your body type, having an awareness, like, am I in the right position, for example? So awareness is the first thing, because if you don't have awareness and then you set a goal with a lack of awareness as to what's true for you, you won't get your goal. That's just the truth. The second one is willingness. Now, willingness, interesting word. To me, it's in your willingness to be tonight on a Sunday on this program, starting tomorrow, not knowing when we're going to be going back on the ice. We have to have a willingness to do whatever it takes. That's the mantra of your quantum speed group. Like, we're here to do whatever it takes to help you get faster, regardless of what's happening on the outside. There's always going to be adversity out there. Give me something hard, or give Vanessa some more lemons. You know, she'll just make you a new patch of lemonade. So if you're willing to do whatever it takes, sometimes you'll be asked the question in your goal setting, what are you willing to do to make my team or to make the team? And you can go down and make a list of 10 things. But I'm going to give you a secret. The only answer is what are you willing to do is whatever it takes. And when you have a whatever it takes attitude, what happens is you find environments that have a whatever it takes philosophy as well. You're not just then going, well, I'll just go to this power skating and I'll go over there to do that dryland guy and I'll go online and learn some drills. That's not a whatever it takes to get my goals attitude. That's just content. You could get that anywhere. You're not going to get what you say you want if you're not willing. So write that down. My only answer to that question when someone asks me what I'm willing to do to make the team or to make the next jump, whatever it takes. It's the only answer. Now, here's one that's really interesting. It's ready. Are you ready? There's a level of readiness that you have right now. You're aware that you're in a program that's going to stretch you and challenge you, and hopefully it'll be fun too. And you're willing to do whatever it takes. You're already here. You're stepping up. You wrote the check or sent in the Visa card. So you've made that commitment or someone has for you. But are you ready fully? Well, we don't really know what's going to happen tomorrow, right? So we can only be as ready as we can be today. So ready meaning is your gear ready to go? Are your skates sharpened? I guess for the 17th. Do you have snacks packed? Do you have any questions that you need that you want answers? Is your goal sheet sent in? Are your permission slips or whatever they're called? What are they called? Not permission slips.
Waivers.
Your papers.
That's so 1992, Steffany. Boy.
Right. Anyway, so are you ready physically, intellectually, mentally, emotionally? Are you a little nervous? Well, I sincerely hope so, because you're doing something you've never done before. So that going back to that little bit of resistance that we have when we don't know what's going to happen tomorrow. If this is the first time you've done a Zoom SPSA or a Zoom class with quantum speed, you're going to be blown away. Just come ready. Have your water bottle there. Set yourself up to win. Maybe, you look at Daniel's environment there. He's got his stick handling board there and his logo, and he's got his comfy chair and his cool hat. So in order to get ready for something, it's also how you prepare. Perfect planning leads to perfect performance. Planning doesn't. Just planning itself, but when you have specific plans about what you want to do, what time you want to get up, what you're going to wear, what you're going to eat, what is the environment you're putting in, you're giving yourself a way bigger chance to be ready to get your goal. And the second one, the last two kind of are similar. So there's the ability. Okay, so once you're ready, now you're going to start becoming a better skater. But here's the kicker. Sometimes in order to become a better and faster skater, you actually have to tear what you're doing down. So your willingness to do that, and your willingness to say, okay, I need to slow down and let somebody help me realign my skating stride in order for me to increase my ability to skate. Now that takes a lot of self-confidence, and that takes a lot of self-awareness. And when you have that ability and you see, okay, I'm aware of what I need to do, I'm willing to do whatever it takes, I'm totally ready, I want to get better. So when you get that ability increasing, less barriers are in your way. And that's really what is important when we lead to the next one, and that's credibility. Now, a lot of people ask me, why do you have credibility on there in terms of getting my goals? Well, if you want to make it to the next level, you want to make a college team, an NHL team, maybe you want to make a national team, etc. One of the unknown qualities and what people are looking for now is your credibility. Now, your credibility is partially based on your history or your reputation in the sport. And sometimes if you have a great reputation as a leader, or as a team person, or maybe not a great skater, but a really whatever it takes person, those are the kinds of qualities that coaches right now are looking for. Because you're going to get to a certain point in the game where skill kind of evens out. And basically coaches are looking for people to fill certain roles. Now, if a coach called me and I didn't have a great experience with you, maybe you weren't really willing or didn't try very hard, or, we don't get many like that in quantum speed, but just make up a story here. And the coach said to me, so what about so-and-so? And I go, I want to be able to tell the truth. Great person, willing to learn, hard worker, motivating, led by example. Those are the kind of things I think I would want to be able to say about you. If I can't say those things, it's your credibility that will actually get in the way of you making the team or taking your goals to the next level, because eventually it's going to be in the hands of other people. So that doesn't mean you throw up your hands and go, oh gosh, I'm never going to make it because I swore at somebody or I jaywalked. That's not what I'm talking about. Every single day, and I want you to start thinking about it in your quantum speed environment, is that who do you want to be? How do you want to be spoken to? How do you want to be recognized? And when that coach does call, and I know this happens to Vanessa and the team all the time, they are looking to get information and intel on who you are as a person. You can work as hard as you can. You can be the best and the strongest and the fastest and the best looking. But somehow, if something down the road hasn't been either fixed or completed, or something that maybe doesn't give you the best reputation, it's going to get in your way. So credibility going forward is so, so important. Start building your resume now. Start surrounding yourself with like-minded people who are going to challenge you, people who are going to believe in you, people who are going to stretch you, because in that, when you're in those environments, you can't help it. You don't have time to be distracted. You don't have time to, just do things that maybe aren't going to be building the best reputation. But when you're around people that you admire and that people you look up to, and you know what, we're not perfect. Nobody's perfect. But when you have the trust and the credibility, you get a lot more room when you do make a mistake. So credibility also works in that level. And then the last one to get your goals is you got to take action. You can't just go, oh, this is what I want, sitting around visualizing. I mean, visualizing helps, but you have to take action. And you know what? The best thing I ever learned is that all you have to do is 10% more than someone else, because 10% is not a lot. Maybe even 5%, because what happens, people get to a certain level of ability. They don't maybe understand the credibility piece and they're not willing to look at it. So what happens is that they're not taking the next or the direct right action in the direction of their goals. Now that 10%, all you have to do is show up. And I call it the JSU plan. The JSU plan. Just show up. Because when you show up at a program like Quantum Speed and you're there and you're willing and you're ready and you just know you want to get better and you're building now your credibility and reputation, even if you're a bit of an introvert like me, it's hard to sometimes put yourself out there. But when you get good at something and you stay what we call in your swim lane, then you can start building your action plan based on working backwards from what you say you want. For example, you want to go to university, you want to play on a CIS team or a US college. You have to start building that before you leave high school, right? And sometimes we're not prepared to do that. And the actions you have to take seem very it's like we're having to adult way too soon. Well, no, it's true. They want you to apply before you're done high school. So you don't even know what your marks are going to be coming out of high school, yet they want to know what your goals are. They want to know that you're thinking about it. They want to know what your marks have been. So those types of things, those type of action steps, starting to build your resume now, really checking in your community, checking in your life, checking in your family, check with your teammates, making sure that the reputation that you want to spread out into the world is credible and is positive, because that's going to take you so much farther in life. Okay, so let's do a quick check-in. Those are the 6 steps. Anybody have any questions? Panelists, anything you want to add? Anything from your experience? I think that's a big hard no.
I think you covered it excellently, Steffany. I think we could all have examples of places we were these things and places we weren't. So
yeah, and do you have to be all those things all at the same time? No. But now that you know this, you can't not know this. So if you're finding that you're not getting your goals, or things aren't coming your way, or you're just not getting the lucky bounces in life, take a look at one of these things, or maybe 2 of these things might be missing. This is what you can control. These are things you can control. You can't control what the coach says or what particular quality of a player he or she is looking for that particular team. Maybe there's only one spot left. and you've got 4 or 5 people that are of the same level of ability. What do you think is going to push them over the edge to pick you? What do you think it is? Anyone? Anyone? Type it in the chat. Anybody?
Ask the question again, Steffany.
If you find that you're not getting the lucky bounces or you're not achieving the goals that you set out, chances are one of these things are missing, right? One or maybe two. So it's a checklist for you to check in that you find that the luckiest people are also the hardest working. So is there a place in your life where you've noticed one of these things were missing and you did have a certain result that you didn't actually like?